Hello, friends. I hope you guys are doing good and following all the norms which are given by our government to prevent yourself from COVID 19. My students are courageous and determined enough to overcome such a tough situation, but it is equally important, friends, that we utilize our time well, efficient, fruitfully for our self development and upliftment. Thinking on those perspectives, I thought why not to guide you today on how to present a research work, especially for our TY students to whom we asked to present a research work, project work in the last semester, and they find it really very difficult to start with it. At a very initial stage, they find it difficult to select the topic, to go about with it, and what would be the subparts how to write a research paper on. So here I am today to guide you on how to present your research paper, how to start with it, how your actual black book should be framed and formed about. It's really very easy, friend. You all enjoy a game of treasure hunt, correct? So research is similar on those grounds only. Only thing there you're hunting for a treasure. Here you would be hunting for a problem which is unsolved, towards which you are going to provide a solution at the end. And to select the topic, usually students come running to us saying that, "Ma'am, it would be thankful if you select the topic and give it to us." Who doesn't like a ready-made cooked food available? But friends, it's difficult to select a topic, but it's not impossible. I want you all to work on it, those grounds, because once you select the topic of your interest, you can create miracle, friends. It's similar to those grounds that if I give you a food to eat, you will never understand the strategy that how I have made it. But if I ask you to make a food and give it to us, then you are going to give a different shape altogether, and it could be even more better maybe. So research is similar to those. It's only thing you have to find out the area of your own interest. It could be finance, it could be taxation, it could be related to HR, it could be related to online digital technology which is going on, even a data science which we all are using it today in one way or the other. So the topic which you are selecting should be of your own interest, which you are going to nurture it, you are going to study it, and you are going to analyze and find something new out of it. Secondly, it should be a recent one, the hot topic, for which everyone knows it, everyone has a knowledge about it, but you have certain idea, you have certain solution towards a problem which is new. That could be your topic. So this is how you are going to select the topic. For example, let me quote an example over here. How can we select the topic? How do we analyze a topic? Say suppose just a simple statement, if I say, we generally consumers like to buy when prices are low and sell it at a high price. How many of you agree to it? I surely agree. I would like to buy at a lower cost and sell it at a higher price. But same thing, if I say, today market is running at downtrend, it's down. So how many of you would like to invest it? And the answer to is it like maybe or may not be. So I need to analyze over here why there is a change in the behavior of a customer. When it comes to buying, obviously everyone would prefer to buy at a lower price and sell it at a higher price. But the same thing, same principle when I apply to my investors. Market is down, so the share prices are low. At this price, if they are buying it, in future if it go ahead and you have a knowledge of financial market, you understand it, what would be the correct time, probably you may earn a good profit out of it in future. But then too, investors are little dicey to buy when it comes to investment. So this behavior, change in the behavior, is what is a thing which I would like to study. Why a customer is behaving in this fashion? Is there a certain solution? Is it possible that I can guide them and give a solution which will help the investors? That would be a topic of research. So my topic would be now to study the behavior of investors. That could be my topic. Clear? So how to select the topic? The area should be of your interest first. Secondly, something should be new in it. Third, in the same topic there should be some problem or some behavior which you are trying to analyze and give a solution to it. The second thing under research which you need to understand after selecting a topic is sample. What do you mean by sample? I'm sure you all might have studied under your research methodology subject. Sample is nothing but a true representative of your entire population. Now what is a population? Suppose if I say I want to study the behavior of TY BAF students. Now in my college, TY BAF students, suppose there are two divisions, A and B. So A plus B, both division students taken together of TY would be called as my population. Now out of this both division, when I select few of them, few from A, few from B division, that would be called as a sample. But I have to be very careful when I'm selecting a sample, because my sample should be a true representative, because based upon my sample I'm going to get an idea that whatever my sample say is what is the opinion of other people also in the same fashion. So my population behavior would be similar to what is the behavior of my sample. That is why we say the sample should be a true representative. Again, a best example which is usually quoted is blood test. When you go for a blood test, entire blood is not taken. It's just a sample on which basis we try to analyze what you are suffering from, and accordingly the medicines are given to cure. So that could be called as a sample. This was the second term which you need to work out with. So what is research now? Research is nothing but something which is unknown. We are trying to find out a solution towards a certain knowledge, towards a certain problem, towards a certain statement which is unknown to others. You are going to create something new out of known thing is what is a research. It is over and above writing an essay. Take an example here. When I say you to write an example on COVID-19, you would say COVID-19 is a pandemic disease, how it started, what happened, in which state it was first, and so on and so forth. But when I go in detail and study what would be the measures for it, what measures are being suggested, what are the effects it has affected industries, migrant workers and banking and other sector and overall economy, and I go in detail and further try to analyze only on one sector how it has created a problem and what all measures have been taken by the government. Is there anything which is unleft, unturned, which wherein I could give a part, I could give a certain solution to solve that problem? That would be my research. So this is what is research. See friends, how interesting it is to come with something which is unknown. Again, if under COVID-19 situation, various researchers are going ahead and trying to research on what would be the vaccination that they can come up with to cure this disease, this pandemic disease. This is what is the fantasy, this is what is the craziness for the research. Once you know about it, you would love to go with it. That is what is research. So let's proceed further and understand what would be the components of the research. Once I have understood what is research, how should I select a topic for the research? Once I have selected the topic, I know in my topic itself I'm going to give a sample. If I say my study is on digital banking, so digital banking, under digital banking, which sector I'm going to take? Am I going to study about the customer? I'm going to study about banking employees. So banking employees, or in general customers behavior. So customers become my entire population. Under that population, I would restrict my study by saying in which area I'm going to focus on. That would be considered as my sample then. Okay, Okay, so it's very important that you understand the topic, and second, you understand this sample concept in it. Now, the components. What would be the components of research? There are around 12 components in which you are going to present your writing. Starting with it, the first is abstract. What is abstract? Abstract is a short summary of the topic which you have selected. Say suppose if you want to search on views of advertisements, views on advertisement which is presented on television. I just want to know, say suppose my topic is I would like to study or know about the customers, how many of the customers see the advertisement with financial advertisements which are given on the television. This is what is the topic which I want to search for. Then how am I going to go about and write my abstract? First, let me clear what would be the subparts of abstract. Under abstract, I am going to write what would be the purpose of my study, what would be the methodology which I am going to use it, my findings, my analysis, how am I going to do about, what test I am going to apply, and limitation of my study, what would be the limitation, social limitation, practical limitation, and at the end, originality of my study. This would be the subparts under my abstract. So the example, let's move on to the example. As I was saying, my example is viewers opinion on the whether they are watching the advertisement, financial related advertisements which are presented on the TV or not. If I want to search on this detail, first I am going to write what is the purpose of my study. My purpose is to analyze the viewers opinion, whether they are actually watching it or not. Now what would be the methodology which I am going to find it out from, whether it would be primary data or secondary data which I am going to use, or am I going to use observation method or interview method. Usually generally people today follow a questionnaire method. They frame with the help of a Google form, they frame a questionnaire, distribute it through a social media and get the responses of the opponents. Findings, what would be my findings, to whom it would be fruitful, what would be the limitation of time, limitation of the area where I am going to restrict my study, what would be the originality, what would be new that I am going to give it to the society out of my research. That comes as a part of my abstract. The second component under research which we have to study is the introduction. Under introduction, I have to answer 5 why and 1 H. What is 5 why? That is, what am I studying, when, where, why, and at the end, how am I going to study about. What I need to define certain concepts. If it is little difficult, I have to make it very clear for my readers so that they also understand and find the study as interesting one. So I need to clarify certain concepts, certain definitions I need to give it. Like say suppose if I say digital banking, what do I mean by digital banking? What all things would be covered under digital banking, when it started, how it started, each and every detail of it I have to give it under introduction, along with certain statistics, how many customers are there which are using digital banking today, in what form they are using it, in which country it started first. Each and every bit of information I need to give it about my topic under introduction. And the statistic which I am going to present under introduction could be a secondary one, for which I am going to give a citation at the end, a reference. Obviously we need to give a citation for the work which is done by others. The third part is statement of a problem. What is a problem in my research topic for which I am going to find a solution? That would be covered under statement of problem. Always remember friends that your statement of problem, objective and hypothesis should be in link. Now let me quote an example over here. Say suppose I am trying to find it out that there is less footfalls of the students in the library. Students don't go to the library for studying purpose, and my research is to find out why this behavior is so. and at the end I'm trying to give a certain solution for it. So what would be my statement of problem? What is my problem here? My problem are students are not approaching to the library. What could be the reason for this problem? Maybe they are not allowed to use cell phones. Maybe Wi-Fi connectivity is poor. It could be that they are not allowed to discuss and study, whereas some students are finding it as easy, or they find it easy if group study is been given. So discussion is not allowed, and so they do not prefer to go to the library and sit over there and study. They just go to see the reference book, or for the purpose of reading newspaper or something like that, but they don't sit in the library for studying purpose. That's my problem. So after analyzing this problem, let's take in one problem that they are not going because discussion is not permissible in library. Now what could be my objective? As my problem says that they are not going because discussion area is not there. So my objective would be, how could I divert them? How could I bring them towards library? How can I increase the awareness? How could I ask them to approach library? How could I tell them to sit in the library for the purpose of study? How to increase that? That would be my objective. So towards problem, objective, and as I said, it's to be in link with my hypothesis. So hypothesis, what is hypothesis? It is nothing but a general statement, my own assumption, which could be a solution towards the problem. So my problem was discussion, because discussion is not permissible, so they are not going to the library. What would be my hypothesis then? If suppose a discussion area is provided or it is allowed, will this lead to an increase in the footfalls of students in library? That is my assumption, which could be positive, it could be negative also. So is there a relationship between the separate discussion area provided to the students for studying purpose and increase in the footfalls of students in library? That could be my hypothesis. I'm trying to find out the relation between two variables. Is there a relation or not? So H1 and H0. H0 we call it as null hypothesis, where there is, we say, no relation. H1, that there is a relation between two concepts, between two variables. That becomes my hypothesis. So I hope with this example it's clear to you. Problem, objective, and hypothesis, all three components of the research should be in link with. First you need to understand what would be the problems in step. It should be in sequence. The problem should be coinciding with my objectives, and accordingly I am going to frame my hypothesis, general assumptions which are acting as a solution towards the problem, and I am going to put to test whether it is a correct assumption or it's a wrong assumption. My next component under the study is review of literature. Now what is review? Review means going through, making a view of it, taking a view of others, those who have already studied on my topic. Probability, they have also given certain suggestions. Possibility, they have left certain question which is unturned, which could be taken in my study, and I can move ahead with a solution towards it. So I need to do a review of literature. Under review of literature, it could be review of reference book, it could be review of journals, articles which are already published through a secondary source. I'll get an information and I have to go about with the review and find out a gap. What is research gap? Something which is not done by others, and I'm going to find it out in my study and give it as a solution towards it. That becomes my review of literature. The next is methodology. Under methodology, I am going to define how am I going to conduct this research. What would be method for it? How am I going to collect the data, start collecting the data? Whether am I going to use primary data collection or secondary data collection? Primary, as we all know, it is collecting the data first hand for the very first time by me, that is a researcher. Secondary is the second hand, which is already been collected by someone else. I'm going to use that in my research study. Obviously, I need to give a credit to the person who has already taken an effort and have collected the data. That becomes a secondary source. So primary source, the way to collect your primary data, the best thing is through Google form. You frame a questionnaire, pass it on your social medias, and collect the information through your questionnaire. The second could be you're taking an interview of the person, individual, and collecting the data. It could also be your own observation which you have taken it. That is also a primary study. Secondary source, secondary, it has already been published in the books, articles, journals, newspaper, magazines, reports of government, and you are going through that and collecting a data, then it is called as a secondary data collection. Then further comes your after data collection, sample. You need to define your sample. How many samples you are going to select? What would be your sampling technique to select the sample? That would be written under your methodology. What would be the sample? How many samples? Say suppose you need to define an area. Under that area you need to give a scope, that how many would be the samples, 500, 600 samples you are going to select. How you are going to select, what would be this technique of sampling, stratified sampling, quota sampling. You all have done that under your research methodology. So all sampling techniques you have to go through once and understand which technique would be fruitful one for you over here for the purpose of your study. The next component is significance. Significance of the study. Significance means usefulness. To whom my study would be useful? Will it be useful to the government to come up with certain projects? Will it be useful to the policy makers, authorities? To whom my study would be a fruitful one? It will create an importance for whom, that I have to define under significance of the study. After significance is my next part, analysis. Now this is an important one because you have done the entire study for the purpose of analysis only. When you are trying to analyze your study, once you have collected the data, you need to classify it properly. You need to tabulate it, draw a diagram, graphs out of it, so that you understand your own study in a better manner. And for the purpose of analysis, there are various tests which you are going to use, like chi-square test, correlation regression, percentage method. Various methods are available through which you are going to test your own data collected, in which whether my hypothesis is positive or negative, whether it is H1 is accepted or H0 is accepted or neglected. Here little statistic part comes which you need to understand. I know it's a bit difficult, so on a very basic stage you can start with chi-square, correlation regression, which you have already learned. The formulas are there to apply with it. First, the data when you have collected, you need to convert it into a numerical form so that you can analyze the data, and that can be done with the help of the various softwares which are available. SPSS you can use. NVivo 12 is the recent latest one through which you can also study the pictures, video interview, structured interview which are taken. You can study through with the help of the NVivo software, and you can find out something which is quite interesting. The one example which was quoted when I learned an NVivo was even politics related, like who would be the next coming party, was studied once with the help of an NVivo. It uses a secondary data for the purpose of study, but it is quite interesting software through which you can analyze it. Moving further is the scope of a study. In your study, always you need to present what would be the further future scope, the part which you have left unturned, which could be turned by someone else. You always have to give an ideas and suggestion for the future scope, how your study could be taken further by someone else who is referring it or quoting us as a review of literature. Last but not the least is the limitation of the study. What all limitations are there, which areas you have not covered, which questions you have not answered it, that would be taken under your limitation. Time constraints, because of which your respondents, your sample which you have selected is very less. The technique of sampling technique which you have selected could be a limitation. So it depends, depending upon your study, what would be your limitation. You need to cite under limitation of the study. And the last very important is the reference. For all the review of literature, for all the work which you have taken from someone else, here you are going to give a reference towards it in a proper order. There are different style to present your references. The one which we usually follow is APA style to quote your bibliography. I find this lecture may be quite interesting for you. Possibility you may go ahead and present one research paper which will make me even more happy. I hope actually you take part, and in future also I'll be giving you I'll be actually WhatsApping you through I'll actually pass on the message through WhatsApp to you, that where all you can publish your paper. Go ahead, publish it, enjoy your research work, and please do revert back to me. And any difficulty, you can contact me at any time. I'm always there to help my students. Thank you. Be at home, be safe.